you think that the law's on your side. Anyone who goes into a courtroom righteous always comes out the loser. Remember that.
I can promise you that.
Don't make promises you can't keep. You also promised that you were a good friend. You're not. You also promised that you could keep secrets. You can't. You also promised that you would be there. You can't.
That's one promise I will give my channel, because I don't give my channel promises unless I know what's going to happen. So we are going to pray that they get their just desserts, and that will be coming. So that's where we're at right now. You know, it's sad that they've turned yet another case into a circus.
Who's they? Who's they? Listen, she is the eye of the storm when it comes to the Sebastian Bach case. She is the eye of the storm when it comes to the Sebastian Bach case. She is the eye of the storm. She is the one. I don't know. Let's ring the bell. Ding, ding, ding. Listen, she's the one. Oh, guess what? Bullhorn Betty arrested on local news tonight. Arrested. Lost your restraining order. Look at this shit.
And a missing boy's parents appearing in court today, but it did not bring them any closer to finding their son. Sebastian Rogers disappeared from Hendersonville back in February. His family was in the courtroom today for a YouTuber accused of harassing and stalking Sebastian's mother and step-grandparents. Now, an order of protection banned Andrea Griffin, who's also known as Bullhorn Betty, from having any sort of contact with the family, directly or indirectly. Court documents also claim she violated that. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry was in the Sumner County courtroom to try to get both sides of this story.
Sebastian Rogers' mother, stepfather, and step-grandparents have largely remained out of the media, but they claim Bullhorn Betty has stalked and harassed them. The courtroom was split today into two sides. The YouTuber and Sebastian's father, Seth, sat on one side. His mom, Katie, stepfather, Chris, and step-grandparents were on the other side. Court documents claim Bullhorn Betty violated the order of protection by mentioning the family on a live stream. The brief hearing ended with the judge saying the matters would be heard on October 10th. Seth Rogers tells me it was frustrating to sit in a courtroom while his son is still missing.
It is extremely frustrating that I have to come here to support somebody, which I don't mind coming to support somebody that's supporting my goal of finding my son. The fact that I have to come here because four people, want to put a restraining order against somebody who's just trying to find my son, and yet.
See, this is where I've never seen this before. I never saw this before. Guess what? You know what? Justin wants to say things like, oh, you're too tough on Seth. Oh, Seth is fine. I get it. Seth is the lesser of two evil. But why is he supporting that? Why is he okay with Bullhorn Betty doing this? She's not looking for your son. She's looking for clout. She's not looking for your son. She's looking for clout. Listen to this. Listen.
Finding my son. The fact that I have to come here because to support somebody.
Family on a live stream. The brief hearing ended with the judge saying the matters would be heard on October 10th. Seth Rogers tells me it was frustrating to sit in a courtroom while his son is still missing.
It is extremely.
Yeah, well, guess what? You never got off your ass to go look for your son either. So you're telling me you'd rather sit next to Bullhorn Betty in court. You just said that you were forced. No one forced you. No one told you got to be here.
Frustrating that I have to come here to support somebody, which I don't mind coming to support somebody that's supporting my goal of finding my son. The fact that I have to come here because four people, want to put a restraining order against somebody who's just trying to find my son, and yet Sebastian is supposed to be her son as well.
Seth added that he believes Andrea is only exercising her First Amendment right and has not done anything illegal. I also spoke with Sebastian's stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, who says he has no comment at this time. In Gallatin, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
I was at work.
Wow.
Well, happening tomorrow, the YouTuber accused of stalking and harassing the family of Sebastian Rogers set to appear in court. Andrea Lynn Griffin, a.k.a. Bullhorn Betty, was arrested last month for violating the restraining order Sebastian Rogers' mother, Katie Proudfoot, placed against her. Bullhorn Betty has been following Sebastian's disappearance on her YouTube channel. Proudfoot claims on that channel her family was accused of harming her son. The YouTuber accused of stalking and harassing the family of Sebastian Rogers set to appear in court. Andrea Lynn Griffin, a.k.a. Bullhorn Betty, was arrested last month for violating the restraining order Sebastian Rogers' mother, Katie Proudfoot, placed against her. Bullhorn Betty has been following Sebastian's disappearance on her YouTube channel. Proudfoot claims on that channel her family was accused of harming her son.
Bullhorn Betty is back in the spotlight, but not for her heroic efforts or to bring justice to missing kids like Sebastian.
Holy crap, you guys. I'm going to share something with you. Look at this. Look at these comments. They're liking people's comments. Finally, karma for this vile woman. I hope she goes to jail. She earned it. Seth sitting there supporting this woman is disgusting. Seth is more concerned about his vendetta against Katie than he is genuinely concerned about finding. Seth sitting there supporting this woman is disgusting. Seth is more concerned about his vendetta against Katie than he is genuinely concerned about finding Sebastian. Shame on Seth. And they loved the comments. No one should feel so entitled to think it's okay to stalk, harass, threaten victims' families, especially when there's no personal connections. It's disgraceful behavior. Allow the professionals to do their jobs without interference. I believe she tried to insert herself into the Michael Vaughn case in Idaho, but was successfully refuted. I wish she would get a long sentence behind bars. That is what she deserves. There are some legitimate YouTube channels that are all about the victim. But personally, someone like Bullhorn Betty, I would never support. She is a distraction from what matters, which is obviously Sebastian. She is nothing more than a grifter. It's all about Bullhorn Betty and harms the case. Oh my God, these comments are out of control. Hello. She's been grifting for years, and in my opinion, she should be banned from social media. Dude, that's a possibility. Dude, and what happened with Benny Keys was little. Nobody knows the facts yet. Maybe, just maybe, none of the parents had anything to do with it. So the court responds and says exactly, oh, this is court and crime with Tia. This isn't the little midget girl, is it? No. Okay, so it's not. All right.
The YouTuber accused of stalking and harassing the family of Sebastian Rogers set to appear in court. Andra Lynn Griffin, a.k.a. Bullhorn Betty, was arrested last month for violating the restraining order Sebastian Rogers' mother, Katie Proudfoot, placed against her. Bullhorn Betty has been following Sebastian's disappearance on her YouTube channel. Proudfoot claims on that channel her family was accused of harming her son.
Bullhorn Betty is back in the spotlight, but not for her heroic efforts or to bring justice to missing kids like Sebastian Rogers. No, this time, she's due to appear in court tomorrow for allegedly harassing and stalking Katie Proudfoot. It's just another day in the world of YouTube's finest, right? If you thought this whole thing was about finding a missing child, think again. First up, let's talk about what this does for Sebastian's case. You'd think the focus would be on finding a missing kid, right? Nope. Thanks to Bullhorn Betty's antics, the spotlight is now on her court dates and restraining orders. Because, of course, when a child is missing for over 6 months, what you really want is for YouTubers to make themselves the main event. The public and media who should be talking about Sebastian are now more interested in Betty's courtroom circus. She's successfully taken attention away from Sebastian and put it squarely on herself, which begs the question, is this helping or hurting the case? Then, there's the whole asking her followers for money. Oh yes, because nothing says I'm innocent like repeatedly hitting up your subscribers for donations to cover legal fees. Isn't this just encouraging more of the same behavior? Every time she gets herself in hot water, her loyal followers swoop in with their wallets, and suddenly, it's like the consequences don't matter. It's like giving a toddler candy every time they throw a tantrum. What could possibly go wrong? The more money she collects for these legal battles, the more she's emboldened to keep doing the same thing. And guess what? The more Betty's legal dramas keeps getting attention, the less Sebastian's case does. Let's also talk about how this whole thing might be shifting the narrative around cases like Sebastian's. Instead of being a story about a missing boy and the urgent need to find him, we're turning these serious issues into reality TV. Suddenly, it's not about the child, it's about the YouTuber's court battles, restraining orders, and personal vendettas. People are more concerned about Betty's courtroom drama than the search for Sebastian. It's a complete distraction, pulling focus from where it should be. And guess what? It's not helping. The more these YouTubers make themselves part of the story, the more the actual case becomes background noise. At this rate, it won't be long before Sebastian's case is reduced to a footnote in the drama that is Bullhorn Betty's YouTube career. And lastly, let's not forget the ripple effect this creates. When creators like Bullhorn Betty face legal action and call on their fans to foot the bill, it sets a dangerous precedent. It says, don't worry about crossing any lines, your fans will cover you. This kind of behavior is not only reckless, but also encourages other creators to act irresponsibly, knowing they can rely on their audience to bail them out. And once again, who suffers? The actual cases these creators claim to be advocating for. The more this happens, the more the real issues get drowned out by the noise of legal drama, donation pleas, and sensationalism. So, if you think all this courtroom chaos is just harmless fun, think again. It's setting the stage for more of the same, and in the end, Sebastian's case, and others like it, get sidelined. Now, we'd like to hear from you all. Do you think YouTubers like Bullhorn Betty are helping or hurting cases like Sebastian Rogers? Is it fair for creators to ask their followers for money to cover their legal costs, especially when they're involved in such questionable behavior? Do you believe this kind of attention-grabbing drama takes away from the actual missing persons cases, or does it somehow help raise awareness? And now, for my final thought, what's next for Bullhorn Betty? Will there be a GoFundMe for the next round of legal drama, or perhaps a new merch line, free Bullhorn Betty t-shirts? Either way, it's bound to be a distraction from what actually matters. And on that note, this brings us to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching, take care, and